Hey, good evening, Market Australia. I hope everyone's having a great night as we prep for these holidays that are coming up right now. I'm excited to be with you today. It's a little early here, my time, but 5 a.m., but a wonderful time to spend with my friends in Australia. And what'll be fun is talking about where we're going to go next year and setting sort of a course as UnFranchise owners on how we're going to get there. And I think it's really important at this time of the year to really take a good inventory of where we're at, to take a good look at where do we want to go, and then to put a plan together to get there. I didn't introduce myself as I started. I'm Jim Winkler. I'm a Vice President of Sales with Market America and Shop.com. I'm also an UnFranchise owner, and I've been an UnFranchise owner for the past 23 years. My wife, Lisa, and I have built the business up as UnFranchise owners to the executive field vice president level, which is in USD $45,000 to $63,000 in a 4-week pay cycle. And I've been a vice president with the company corporately for the past 9 years. So I'm coming to you both from a standpoint of what are we looking at as an UnFranchise owner, and then what do we need to do corporately to get where we want to get to too. And I think it's a very, very exciting time. I know for Lisa and I, one of the things we always like to do is at the end of a year, we like to take a little bit of time and really reflect, look back, look over our numbers. And I'm a numbers guy. How many plans did I show throughout the year? How much did we retail throughout the year? How many home meetings did I hold throughout the year? And take a look and see, how did that match up to my goals for the year? And then we go forward and we set our goals for the next year based on the activity level and the increase we want to see in our income. Because here's the way it works. If you just do what you did, you'll just remain where you are. If you want to go forward, you have to play offense, not defense. And that means you have to say, okay, I'm going to look at this and figure out how do I build it so I can move faster and get there much quicker. And that's really what we'll be discussing today. So let's jump into it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about goal setting. Let's give you some ideas, maybe some things you can set. I mean, obviously there's personal things that you'll want to put on those goals. There may be financial things you want to put on there in terms of ideas you have that with what you can earn from the business, you can pay off maybe in your personal life. I'm going to focus a little heavier on business goals as well, and then sort of integrate them all together, because I want to make sure we take a look, because the business can give you the money can give you the time can give you the ability to do everything you want to do and enjoy. I know for me, time has always been one of the biggest things you could have in the world, to be able to really enjoy your life. There's a lot of ways to make money, and always say this. You can go out and you can do a lot of different things. But one of the most important things you can do is create residual income. And that's what our business does. And I'm saying this because I want to make sure as we discuss and talk with our prospects, the key to what we're talking about is not how do we make an extra $300 or $600. That's great, and that's an advantage. But the key is, how do we make an extra $300 or $600 residually? Not just trading time for money, but building on something that can pay you over and over and over again. It's the old, like, would you rather have $1 million now or a penny doubled for 31 days? And anyone who's ever done the math on that knows you'd rather have the penny doubled for 31 days, because it might take you a little time to get there, but it's going to add up to a whole bunch more when it's finished. And that's really how I always looked at our business as well, was having the ability to do that. So as we talk about goals, it may be a good time. You might want to get a notepad out. There might be some things you want to think about. And again, it might be a time you take with your team, and you may want to have a goal setting session with them as we move into December right now, to be able to do that. Little coffee. I know it's a night there, but it's a good thing to have in the morning. right now. I've already had my isotonic supplements. Start off my day strong, so I'm ready to go. I've always looked at it, you got to dream big. As we talk about goals, we'll talk about setting what we're going to want to do in 2020, but I think we also need to take a look at what do we want 5 years from now? If I could draw out, an exercise I do every year is I draw out and I say, okay, 5 years from now, what do I want my life to look like? It's always putting into a really clear focus, and I start writing down, and it might be physically 5 years from now, what do I want it to look like? Maybe a weight I write down. It might be how many times a week I work out. It might be my eating and how what kind of food I'm eating from a health standpoint. Then I'll look at financial. Where do I want to be 5 years from now? What would be the ultimate? Then I'll look at my business. Where do I want it to be 5 years from now? Maybe it's spiritual. Where do I want it to be 5 years from now? Then I look at all that, and I sit down and I take a look and I draw it out as if it's five years from now, the same way I do with 1 year, which I'll show you in a minute. I think this is really important because you have to have a focus. It's funny, we've got to do what we need to do now, but we have to have the idea of where we want to be 5 years from now or 1 year from now, if we really want to make big things happen. And most people overestimate what they can do in a short period of time. They say, I want to get there really quick, but it's so difficult. But they underestimate what they can do if they do something every single day for 5 years or for 3 years or for 1 year even. So remember that it's important to put a focus on a 5-year goal and a focus on a 1 year goal. Where do we want to be next year at this time? We don't want to be having the same conversation if you've had it with yourself a couple times in a row. If in 2017 you said, I'm going to get ready and go, and then 2018, and then 2000, now it's going to be 2020, and you're having the same conversation. Something you're doing is not working correctly, so we want to make sure we can get that set so everything's working for you. This is just a picture of my wife Lisa, who some of you may have met or gotten to know, and that's how every year we take our business, we draw it out, and we look at, okay, here's our one, how much volume do we have coming up, here's our the left side, here's the right side, then we go down and we look and we say, okay, who are the leaders in that business that we need to focus on this year? Because we have a very strong belief, and I'm going to tell you this is something you should look at in your organization, those of you that have big organizations, is who can I get to the next level? Who can I partner up with? Who can I call and say, you know what, I'm planning out 2020, and I'm trying to decide where I am going to build, and I have looked, and I want to build with you. I want to partner with you, and I want to help you get to another level. Because if you help people in your business get to other levels, it's automatically going to happen for you. And that might mean digging in and doing breaking down their business and saying, okay, here's what we need to do to hit the next level. It might be looking at it and saying, okay, here's how many people you would need to sponsor to really get this going. And that would include you on there too. How many people do you need to sponsor as you're doing this? So anyway, this is an exercise we do every year. It really puts in perspective where we want to go and what we want to do. And again, we draw it out on a whiteboard. I'd recommend you do sort of the same thing to give you a really good feel. Another thing that's great to do this time of year is to set up a dream board. We recently built a new home we moved into, and as we were moving out of our old home, you know how you find things that you haven't seen in a while, and this was one that a dream board Lisa and I put together in 2004. And it's funny because it goes in and it made us think we wanted to live on a lake. At the time, we did not live on a lake. We wanted to build a new house. All that we wanted to travel. We wanted to have a great team and a great family, and all the things we wanted were listed on there, and everything on there came true. And the big part of it, I think, was having it in front of us for so long. sitting there. We ended up building our new house, built it on the lake, just like the goal that was driven right there. And if you looked at our 2005, 2006, 2007, we still had, by then we were living on the lake, but now we had the goal of the new home that we wanted to build. We drew up plans in 2005 for a house we actually built in 2000 and moved into in 2018. So that goal took a little bit longer to achieve, but always stayed on the forefront. I actually had it on my computer as my screensaver. It's funny, people say, well, do goals really work? That's like saying, do maps really work? If you just get in a car and you drive and you don't know where you're going, you can drive and you can say, oh man, I was productive today. I drove, 500 kilometers. But you don't even know where you went to, and nothing good happened with it because you're just more lost now. It's sort of the same thing with goals. You can go through a year, you can go through life and live for 365 days, and at the end of it, you go, hey, that was a good year. And you're no further ahead than you were before because there were no goals of where you wanted to go, which didn't give you that roadmap on how to get there. And I hope I'm hitting that correctly for you as I'm doing that, so that it makes sense on why we need to have it. So I would say a goal early would be, how do I get residual income? And again, I'm using that word, that ongoing income, because that's what makes us different. Residual income is meaning, doesn't mean you don't do anything. It's not passive where you do nothing with it. Residual means you might have to do some things, but you're going to get paid on things for a long time while you're doing that. You got to look back at my career. I'm paid on things I did in 1997 today. I've got teammates that I introduced in December of 1997, because I started late August of 97, that today are supervising coordinators with the company, senior master coordinators with the company, who led to other people, directors with the company, which pay me in 2019. Think about that for a minute. That's 22 plus years of I did something. I've worked with them ongoing. So I didn't just introduce them to the business and leave them. I worked with them, I helped them, I'm still there as a teammate and a supporter. Don't think you ever leave a team, but it led to the ability to have an ongoing income, which is, to me, the most incredible thing in the world, to know that the money's going to keep coming in. That if you need to take a break, if you need to take care of family or do something, the money's going to keep coming in. So I would make your goal, one of your goals, residual income, so you can take care of those things. Remember, people without goals have no destination, and you want to identify your why in the business. And it's really interesting. I did a lot of exercises with people this year on why they really want to do it, and a lot of us stop too short. Say, well, I want to be financially free. That's a great reason. Why do you want to be financially free? And it may be because there's a lot of stress that's involved with the finances that people have right now, and they may owe a lot of money, and I'll say, that's a great reason. So you want to get rid of some of the stress by being financially free. Why do you want to get rid of that? And as you dig in and you go further and you go further, you typically get to what I call the real reason that people want to do it. And that real reason may be, they saw their parents go through and lose their home, and they're terrified that something could happen to them. The real reason, maybe they're worried about health challenges because their family had health challenges and they've got a lot of stress in their life. They know stress creates issues. But dig in on that. Why do you want to, and if the why is I want a secondary income, go further. I hear a lot of people, I just want to make an extra $300,000 a month, which is wonderful, by the way. And they say, I don't have that huge why. Well, maybe you do. Why do you want to have that secondary income? Is it because there's something that scares you about losing the first one? Is it because if you lost the first one, you don't have enough money in a backup plan that you could eventually lose your home? Is it because you thought if you lost your home, it would create stress with your relationships? Whatever it may be, we all have these little things and reasons we want to do it. And all I'm trying to get across is take a good look, spend a few minutes, do that why exercise, peel back the onion, as we say, and look and say, well, okay, why am I looking at taking the time to do something like this? You know, I met with a gentleman yesterday, and about my age, in his 50s, has had some great success in life. But we just started talking, and it was just a great conversation, sort of an introduction to the business. And, you know, I asked him why he was taking a look at it. And he said, you know, I'm always open to secondary or multiple streams of income. That's great. But I knew that wasn't the full answer. And the longer we talked, the more he got comfortable with me. You know, the more I found out that his last business, he had created an ongoing income, but now it was on the downslide, and there was nothing he could do with it. It was an insurance-based business. It was downsliding, and he was actually just basically letting what was left there come in as a little bit of income, and he had to build something else. And the why became, he didn't want to build something that didn't keep coming in the future. And the more we talked, the more I could feel that his pain was that he had built something and it was the wrong vehicle, so it didn't maintain, no matter how hard he worked at it, he couldn't maintain it. Where I know in our business, you know, once you build this, you can maintain it and make some incredible longevity of your income. And then you might say, from a maintenance standpoint, hey, it's 2020. I don't want to maintain anymore. I want to play offense. I'm going to, you know, if I want to build a bigger business, I got to treat it like I did when I built it to the point it is now. How did I do that? What did I do? If I talk to a lot of you, and you looked at what you did, or you talked to a lot of your leaders, what did they do when they built at their height? What were they doing, and are they doing the same thing? The answer might be they're not. You know, the business is pretty simple, and I know Kevin Buckman and I were talking yesterday, and Dennis Franks, and you know, everybody says, you guys make it sound so simple, and the reason we do is because it is. Here's what you got to do. You got to use and sell some products, okay? You have to share our business plan, and you have to attend and promote events. Everything else you do is just add-on stuff. It's great, it's wonderful, but is it making you money? And you know, when I started the business, those were my goals were very clear. At the end, I didn't want a 2 to 3 year plan. I wanted a 1 year plan. I said, okay, how could I have a 1 year plan if the company calls it a 2 to 3? Well, they said 2 to 3 years doing 8 to 15 hours of work. So I said, okay, if I want to make a 1 year plan, I'm going to put more time in. What do you put more time in? That was my question. You put more time into the things that make you money. What makes you money? Showing the business plan, selling products, and getting people to events, okay? Anything else, you're just playing with yourself, and you're doing it from a standpoint that you don't want to do what's going to make you money as bad as you say you do if you're doing other things than those 3 things. So let's really look at that and focus as we work on this as a team. Now, I mentioned writing out your goal statement, and here's how I'm going to recommend to do it. And this is what I do with my personal team, with my leaders. I have a leader team I work with of 20 people. And one of the things, and the reason I work with them is because then they'll duplicate it out to their people. So if I work with a team of 20, I really know I'm influencing hundreds and hundreds because they work with their teams of 20 or more. But what we'll do, and one of the things that'll come up right now, we do this typically 2 to 3 times a year. I'll have the team write out a goal statement and say as if it's a year from now. I mentioned to you, I think it's a great exercise to do the 5 years from now as well. We'll do that once a year with my team we work with. And we'll write it out as if it's then. So in this case, it might be, it's December 2024. I've reached the level of international field chairman, earning in excess of $100,000 per month with the company. We are completely debt-free and putting money away for our children and for our grandchildren on a regular basis. Lisa and I now spend 1 month in the winter in Arizona, and we spend 1 month in the winter in Florida. And again, you go through and what do you want that life to look like? Now that's a 5-year one. Then you do one for a 1 year, okay? And you write it as if it's happened. This is really important. You write it as if it's happened. The date, what level you're at, because that's what's going to give you the money to be able to do it, and then what the money is allowing you to do or have or be in your life. Now, when I say write it out, I think that's a great thing. And then people say, well, then I can look at it twice a day, and I think that's wonderful. What I like even better, though, is to take your phone and to record it on your phone after you write it. It's the simplest thing I've ever seen, to be able to record it onto a phone and then play it back. When you wake up in the morning, or when you're driving to work, or when you're driving home again, play it twice a day and hear your own voice telling you where you're going to be a year from now. And, you know, people say, well, does that really work, you know, as you're doing stuff like that? Our mind is so powerful that what you put in makes a huge difference to where you want to be and what will happen. Now, if you're writing it out every day, that's great to do too, but I think hearing it is an easy, fantastic way to do it. But hear it when you do it. Listen to it when you do it, and have it feed into your brain over and over again. Now, part of that goal has to follow a couple things that, you know, we look at from a company standpoint. What do I need to do as an unfranchised owner? As I'm coaching people right now on building a business, what's some of the strongest coaching I'm going to talk about? Well, one of the things I'm going to talk about is base 10, 7 strong. And by base 10, 7 strong, I mean developing a customer base of a minimum of 10 customers who order on a monthly basis. Now, it might mean you have 20 customers order every other month, so it averages 10 a month. And looking at that and developing a base of 10 customers who do a minimum of 40 BV. And you can think about what 40 BV is when you look at products. We have a lot of products where a 1 month supply or a month and a half supply is 40 BV to be able to do. And then what you're doing is not only are you creating now 10 customers doing 40 BV, which of course would be 400 BV. I'm going to get up. I think you'll be able to see this okay on the webinar. Pull out a screen here. But so if you've got 10 customers doing 40 BV, that's 400 BV that's being generated right there. Then if you use 100 BV personal use, you're now creating a base of 500 BV. So when we take a look at creating a base of 500 BV, what are we doing? Well, you might say, yeah, I use way more than that. Well, fantastic. Your goal doesn't change from creating a base of 10 customers minimum doing 40 BV. That doesn't change. If you use way more than 100, that just means you're going to create 600 or 700 or 800, whatever it may be that you're going to create in volume. We're paid on volume. I always want people to remember this, not on the number of people. I do not have this organization of tens of thousands of people. I have an organization of great retailers and great users of the product who build off of base 10, 7 strong to build sound foundations so that they're here a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, so that they can achieve levels in the business without having huge organizations, because you have to be able to do something that's very duplicatable. This is a goal we can set for you first, and then for any teammate you bring in. As I talked to the person yesterday, I mentioned earlier about how the business works. Pulled open the whiteboard and started drawing out, here, John, here's what you're going to do. We're going to help you identify 10 to 15 customers as fast as we can. We want to build you up to a point of having a repeat base, and I wrote it out, of 400 BV coming in. If you use 100, I said, you're going to use a lot more than that, but 100 initially, that's 500. Now we're going to identify people we want to partner with. As you bring those people in, we're going to do the same thing with them. We're going to help them develop a base of 10 customers, producing 40 VB and using 100. We're going to explain it the same way. We're going to sell them tickets to the event, and we're going to show the business plan for them, and we're going to try to get them to get 2 people a week in front of this business plan. It becomes a very easy layout, and when I showed it to him, he's like, I get it completely, makes sense. I showed him how with just 3 people on the left, 3 people on the right, which I'll show you in 1 second, he has the ability to create an income stream. And if he wants to make more, you just double it, and you double it again, and you double it, and double it again. So that base 10, 7 strong I'm talking about that you're seeing right here is a foundation for goal setting, because that will drive the volume in your business, which is what we get paid on. And for new people who are watching us, the reason we call it base 10, 7 strong, the 7 is you plus 3 people on your left, and 3 people on your right to build that business. So a small number of people creating customers and using products. And you can see with just that small group I'm talking about right there, now you've got a $300 monthly income coming in. Then as I talked to John yesterday, we said, okay, so now as you're helping them identify people, or you're introducing new people, each person, every time when you get to 6, you can see now you have an income of $600 a month when you have 6 on the left, 6 on the right coming in. And what you have to remember is if they all have 10 customers or more ordering on a regular basis, they're producing volume with or without you at that point, because the customers are ordering, they're using products, you're helping support by getting into the homes with them, by showing the business plan for them, by getting them to understand the philosophy of getting to events. And that's what we're doing with our base 10 and 7 strong. You know, I had the privilege this year, and you guys know I loved it, to come out to Australia and spend some time in Sydney and Melbourne and Perth. And, you know, one of the things we did was called a Master Business Building Workshop. And some of you may have gotten the opportunity to participate in that. And if you did, I hope it really helped during the year. But one of the things I want to talk about are some of the goal setting exercises we did there. I want you to, if you can, take a moment and write down, you know, how many people, let's not do per quarter are you going to sponsor in 2020, but how many people do I want to sponsor in 2020? Now, I just came back. We had what we call a GMTSS summit here, and where we met with some of our seminar leaders from around the United States and Canada, our local coordinators, our district coordinators, our regional coordinators. And we sat down, I was with a number of the top earners, who some very good friends of mine, like a Elizabeth Weber Walliser, or a David and Stacy Whitehead. And we talked about what's a great goal in 2020. And the 3 of us have decided that our goal is going to be to improve 20 people's lives in 2020. And what I mean by improve them is to sponsor them into the business, which means we're going to have to do a lot of evaluations. We have to do a lot of meetings to do that. But that goal, and initially you say 20, that's a huge number, right? You might say my goal is 4, which is, by the way, a great number. We're stretching ourselves because we want to show people that it's actually not that crazy to do it, because 20 people is less than 2 a month. Typically, I know, I always tell people you need to know your numbers. I know my number. If I show 4 business plans, I'm typically going to bring in 1 person, which means that I need to show 8 business plans, 8 evaluations, which will lead them to getting other people in front of me to bring in 2 per month. If I did 8 a month, which led to 2, that would actually be 24 people. So I'm looking at it and saying, okay, 20, if I maintain the focus the right way, and this is where my focus is, it's clear for 2020 what I want to do, then I'm going to set that goal to be able to do that. And it's going to be a push. I'm not going to kid you, but goals should be a push. Goals shouldn't be, my goal isn't to wake up in the morning my goal is to have a great day, and how am I going to do that? My goal is not to just eat. My goal is to eat the right things, which produce the right weight, which produce the correct health. Those are the things you have to think about. Your goals need to stretch you a little bit to do more, which means how many plans are you going to have to show in 2020? Well, I already mentioned, if you say you're going to, say you wanted to sponsor 6, which again, let's say that's your goal for the year. That's a great goal. Now you have to know your number. What's your number? Well, if your number takes you 6 times showing the business plan before you find somebody that qualifies that you want to bring into the business. Well, then if you want to sponsor 6, it goes to 36. Does that make sense? So let's go back to the board. If I want to sponsor, excuse my back on it as I talk to you, but if I want to show 6 plans, 6 plans each month, that would be if I want to sponsor 6 people, and it takes me 6 plans to be able to do that, I know that I'm going to have to do a total of 36 plans throughout the year, right? Because it takes me 6, so 6 times 6 would give me my 6 people that I've increased my business by. That's 36 plans. I now divide that by 12 months. I need to show 3 plans per month to get to where I want to in 2020. See, now we're getting things we can measure. So if you finish January and you've only shown 1, you're behind by 2. If you finish January and you've shown 6 plans or 8 plans, you're ahead of where you want to go. And I always recommend, finishing the rest of this year strong and really starting the first quarter strong. And I know a lot of times January, people say, well, I've got a lot going on. I've got some holiday in there, some things happening. That's great. You're on holiday from your job. When you own a business, you can meet with people at any time and talk to them. And if they're on holiday, it's a great time to do it, to jump ahead and to get ahead of where you want to go in life. How much per month will you retail in 2020? So set a goal. What's your goal for the year? Then break it down by how much you need to do per month. And I'm going through these because I want you to do this exercise. How many home business presentations and product show will you have or conduct this year? And put it down. One of the best ways to move product is to have a small group setting and move some products. One of the best ways to accelerate your speed of showing the plan is to do a small meeting of 3, 4, 5, 6 people in a home and accelerate that with your guests. How many people we have at the next local seminar? What's my goal for my next local seminar? Ours is January 4th. I wish I could show you, but I wonder if I can. Hold on one second. I'm going to do this because you can see my screen. People can see you. You've hidden webcam, but you're still. Oops, I didn't mean to hide my webcam. There we go. Sorry about that. I wanted you to see my screen on something, so let me see if I can do that. I don't know if I can right now. Well, anyway, what I was going to show you. Let's see if I click this. What happens? No. What I was going to show you was I actually have in my notes a list, and if you look at that list, I can do it with my phone right here. So I'm looking at a January 4th seminar. And what I did is I went in and I went through my organization and I looked for people who maybe weren't at our last seminar. And I personally contacted them either through a text or I contacted them through a, why isn't this showing right now? Hold on, let me go back to this. Great, we can see that, we can see everything. Okay, I went back in and I called or texted each person on that list I was just sharing with you. And what I did when I did that was I sent a message saying, hey, Bill, noticed you weren't at the last event we had. Hope things are going great. Miss you. Wanted to make sure you knew about the one in January because I know you may want to start the year very, very strong. let me know. I'd like to pick up a ticket for you, or I'd like to help you get a ticket. And I'd love to see you there in January if it works out. I miss you and look forward to having a great year with you in 2020. So what am I doing? I'm not beating people up for not being there. That is the wrong attitude. Always remember, we're trying to build a business where people want to be with us, not one where we're driving them away. We want to build one where they want to be with us. So I'm sending them a message or giving them a call and talking to them with love as I do it, not with anger because I'm mad they're not there. I'm always looking at it, how would I want to be treated? I want people to be with me. You know, one of the things I think is important to understand, people don't really quit the business. You know what they quit? They quit the relationship. And that relationship, a lot of times, is with the people on their team. If they have a strong relationship with you, if they're moving products through base 10, 7 strong, they're going to stay with you, and they're going to stay with you long enough to learn how to build this business the right way and have the ability to create that ongoing income. Some people move faster, some people move slower. Either way, you got to keep that relationship strong, and you've got to keep the business strong. So when I talk about how many people have the next local, that leads to how many people you have at the Australia National Convention. And that's, you know, per organization. So on my left side of my one, how many people am I going to have there? On the right side of my one, what's my goal for how many people I'm going to have there? You know, at this point forward, everyone you bring in, you want to be selling a ticket to them to a local. You want to be selling a ticket to them to that Market Australia National Convention. Okay, here's a big one. How many times will you hit Master UFO in 2020? You know, that should be, again, as we talked about base 10-7 strong, the reason we talk about that, that leads right into our Master UFO program. My goal, I think I've hit it the last 8 quarters in a row. Right now, it's December. I've done everything, for this quarter, put the new sponsorship. So my goal in the next 14 days is to talk to some of the people I've got in the pipeline and see if I can get them to get some more people in front of me and make a decision that they qualify before the end of the year, because I want to hit that again. There's some great advantages. But from a business standpoint, that's what builds our business, hitting Master UFO, and I'll talk about it in a second. How many times we hit the shopping annuity master member? Put that on the goal statement. Of course, that's how much we use in BV, how much we use in IBV, and doing our assessments with that. How many teammates will you have hit new levels this year? So who are you identifying? One of the things I do with my 20 people I coach on a weekly basis, they have to identify 10 people in their organization, 10 that they want to move to a new level. They have to talk to them about how they're going to do that. And you know, here's another big thing. How many good books will you read or listen to this year? You have to pour into yourself. A lot of times what happens in our business is we're pouring out, meaning people are asking us questions. We're talking about things. We're explaining things. We're encouraging teammates. Well, you got to pour in good things, good books, good audios. There's so many great audios with our Market America Business that you can just listen to right there. And there's great audios outside of that, you know, anything from Jim Rohn. So many wonderful new audios now out on the market, but anything with development, leadership, sales, all those different things are important to be able to do and to learn on a regular basis. It's funny, you know, our children are now at the ages they're between 22 and 31, and with the holidays coming up, you know, one of the things is what do they want for the holidays? Well, every one of them is in a profession that involves being strong mentally and building. And every one of them asked for a book. It's the environment they've grown in. What's the best leadership book you would recommend, Dad? What's the best sales book you would recommend, Dad? Because they know, they've watched me pour in day after day, month after week after week, month after month, year after year for, you know, 30 some years, well before I was in Market America. And that's their attitude now. And they're wildly successful at young ages in what they're doing. And I really believe a lot of that is because they're pouring in into themselves, and they're learning. And that's what we have the best learning environment with our business to be able to do that. But add to that, take more to that. I mean, I'm always doing, I'm always reading. But that's a goal I set each year. So my goal is always at least 12 books during the year. My goal is at least 24 audios. That when I say audio, I don't mean like a 2-hour audio. I'm talking audio programs, which are typically 4 to 6. I consider my Market America audios just a daily thing I do. I'm talking about 24 outside of that I add as goals. And then what's a goal of how much you want your business income to go up by this year? So if you've done what we've talked about now, you've gone through with these goals right here that we just went over, the last two that you see, and then you go through, go backwards, and you had the goal of the base 10-7 strong. You've set and written where you want to be in 1 year and 5 years and recorded it. You are set to have a great year. One of the things I would recommend before you get all these goals set up or while you're doing them, set a goal to redo your names list and take some time and go through it. And, you know, who can I add to that? And don't think about who will do the business. Think about who do you know? And again, this is always such a key. Not who you think will do it. I'm going to repeat this. Who do you know? And then add people to that list over and over and over, you know, whether it's friends, family, neighbors, people you've talked to in the past. You know, for someone like myself, I've been in the business a long time. One of the things I will do in the next 2 weeks is I'll also look and I'll say, okay, we have a 1,000-day report now that you have in your back office. Who has been in my business that's not in my business anymore, that maybe they got out of the business because time in their life was bad, that maybe they went through a divorce or lost a job or had a family issue that went on, and but loved our products and liked the business, that now I want to talk to and I want to bring back a conversation about coming into the business. I'm going to look at the people I've met in the last year and built some relationships with, asking them to evaluate the business, take a look at it. Maybe they'll know some of the right people, but all these are great ways to do it. And of course, you know, qualifying us, what are some great people? Sales and service experience, teachers, coaches, trainers, entrepreneurs are great people. People with a good attitude, people who have money, who have had it and lost it because they want to get that money back up there. Prior networking, our direct sales experience, another great thing to look at. And the only reason I'm, we call it steaming a list, is talking about some people like this, is they have an advantage when they come in because they've already done some things that give them a leg up. People in sales may have dealt with people, of course, may have dealt with rejection, so they're used to it. Teachers, trainers, and coaches are used to leading people. Entrepreneurs don't think like an employee. An employee thinks, I worked an hour, what do I get paid for the hour? That's why they don't develop residual income. An entrepreneur thinks, how do I get paid more in that hour by leveraging my time so that I can get paid on hundreds of hours in 1 hour? They naturally think about a lot of these things and understand it takes time to build it up. People with a great attitude are just, you know, they're always looking forward rather than backwards. The people who've had money lost it have proven that they can do it. They just have to get back in a vehicle that can give it to them, which is what we are. And the prior networking just means they've established and maybe learned how to talk to some people and what to do. We may have to retrain them a little bit to do it our way, which I consider the right way. But at least they know how to reach out to people and may not be worried about doing it. Let's talk about Master UFO for a few minutes as we go through this and talk about goals. One goal should be to hit Master UFO. I said that needs to become a quarterly goal. I know from a corporate end, one of the things we want to see is Market Australia take that Master UFO program and double, triple, and quadruple the number of people hitting Master UFO each quarter. So that should be up as one of the things I'm going to do. So let's talk about how we do it and what we can check off on it. One, complete a shopping annuity assessment. You can jump off of this webinar and do that. and be done with it. It's checked off on the box then. You just, and that's right in your back office. Of course, Master UFO is right in your back office and shows you exactly where you're at with everything. Have a current UFMS subscription. I would imagine if you're taking time on a night at 10 o'clock at night or whatever time it may be in your time zone in Australia, that you at least have a current UFMS subscription, and you've done the shopping unit assessment. You probably have both those done already. If you haven't, you want that to be part of it, of what you do. Purchase a minimum of 1,500 BV of exclusive branded products per quarter, and that can be satisfied by the UFO and customer. Well, we just went through and spent some time talking about how we're going to do 10 customers, 40 BV plus 100 per month that we use. That's 500 per month, which is 1,500 per quarter. So as we were going through and building this, we're actually building towards hitting UFO right away. So 10 customers, 40 BV, that's 400 BV, plus you using 100, you're doing 500 a month, which is 1,500 a quarter. Generate a minimum of 250 IBV per quarter. Well, again, let's break that down. How much is that per month? It's about 84 IBV per month I need to take a look at generating. How can I do that? What products can I order? What do I have on my auto ship? What stores can I purchase from? And setting a goal of doing that. Sponsor one qualified and active UnFranchise owner. So sponsor one qualified and active UnFranchise owner per quarter. Attend or conduct an NUOT of B5 once per quarter for those two, and then an ECCT once per year. Well, if you're sponsoring one new person per quarter, you're definitely going to want to go to the NUOT and B5 with them. You want to go with them and attend those trainings, and then purchase a minimum of 3 tickets to the Next Market Australia annual convention. And then either complete a basic 5 diagnostic test, which the link is right in the Master UFO program, and or earn a minimum of 900 Australian dollars in commissions for that respective quarter. That's what you do to hit Master UFO. I hope you've seen, as we were talking about goals, we actually sort of built into it what needs to be done to do that. Now, what are some advantages of that? Here's the first advantages. So someone said, well, what do I get if I do it? Here's what you get. You get residual income. I mean, goodness, that's what you want to have. Well, I don't hit Master UFO. I'll be very honest. I don't hit it for the value of getting a second placement. That's something we do. That is a bonus. You can have a second place. You can put volume into another person you can pick that you personally sponsor. That is incredible that the company offers that. But that's not, I was hitting Master UFO every quarter before we had that. Why? Because that's how you build your business. The reward is a 6-figure ongoing income, or $1,000 a month ongoing income, or $2,000 a month ongoing income. The reward is in building the business. I hope that makes sense to everybody. The fact that we give a second placement is just a ginormous bonus that we give for hitting it as well, to encourage you to do that. You know, the 5 things we need to do weekly as we talk about our goals. Use that evaluation approach to secure 2 presentations per week. This comes directly from our founder and CEO, J.R. Reidinger, on the 5 things we should look at doing each week. Be a product of the product, and we've talked about that. Hit Master UFO, generate 500 BV, generate 84 IBV a month, so that you hit the things you need to hit to do Master UFO. Get 2 prospects to evaluate the plan. Now, that means you're going to need to learn to show the plan as well. So we're using that approach to set up 2 presentations, and now we're showing 2 presentations. Sell tickets to the next GMTSS event, and then measure, monitor, adjust, and control what you do with your team. You know, we've got in our back office, we have an accountability report. Have them send that to you, or put them on some kind of accountability team that you work with. You know, one of the other things I would mention, don't depend on everybody else to do everything for you. Look at it and say, okay, I'm a leader. What do I need my team? What would I like them to be able to do? And that would be another thing that I would mentioned that might be a great way to take a look and see what you could do to be able to do that. I've got about 10 minutes left. I'm going to do a quick run through also on our inventory management system for you, and then I'll take a few questions. But I want to make sure everybody's got this down. You know, I hope that session was good on goals. Let's talk about the inventory management system really quick for you, okay? You know, as a leader, whenever there's any kind of change, part of leadership is dealing with it correctly. You know, one of the things I've looked at over 23 years, I have seen every company, if you don't change, by the way, you're going to die. So you have to evolve. You have to become something and morph. And that's what I love about our business. We're always morphing into what we need to be in the current time that's going on. Well, I've seen leaders who fight it. I've seen leaders who embrace it. I've seen a change that occurred, and one leader told his team how horrible it was and why are they doing this, and one leader told them it's great and that the company is doing it to protect us, otherwise why wouldn't they do it? Every corporate officer is an UnFranchise owner, so they look at it both ways. JR, this is his baby, he wants it to be here for generations. One person, the one who is complaining and talking, he's feeding negativity into him. I've seen organizations disappear. The one at the same time, the one who's teaching his team why and how and what's going on. I've seen organizations thrive and grow. Now here's the interesting thing. It's the same environment. It's the same things. The only difference was how the leadership dealt with that. So you as a leader of your team, as you build it, you'll want to deal with things that way. Your attitude will determine how your team in your area responds to change. And one thing I'll say is change will continue to occur at all times. It's the only constant we can hope for in life. I mean, right? Your life changes at all times. So you can make it change easy or painful and costly. I've always gone with the easy and keeping my team up to date on why. So that's why I want to, you're my team. So that's why I want to spend a few minutes on this. So why did we come out with the inventory management tool that we have? Well, basically, here's some compliance basics. You can purchase products and use it personally, but you also have to have that retail requirement we use. And the products you purchase personally cannot be the driving force in how your earnings are being done. And there's got to be documentation on that you're not inventory loading to be able to cut checks and do things like that. So documentation of actual sales to ultimate end consumers and personal consumption provide the relevant and reliable information concerning the compensation structure. So we looked at the environment in this day and age and said, you know what, we've got a Form 1000, that's great. It shows that we retail to end consumers. But do we show enough of where the product goes? Now there's one thing we could do. We could have everybody have to show 70% is retailed out right away. Instead, we looked at it and said, let's put together a tool that people can use. It'll be beneficial to them because from a tax standpoint, this will be great for you, but it's also going to be something that will be beneficial to the company in terms of making sure we are doing everything from a regulatory basis that needs to be done. Now that tool came out December 2nd. Today is, at least here, today is the, what day are we on? We're on the 17th. I think you're ending the 17th or 18th there, I'm not even sure. But by the 31st, it has to be completed by everyone. I'm going to repeat this. Not just some of the people, by everyone you want to have this completed on your team. By your sales reps, by your UnFranchise owners that are not as active. So what does that mean? That means you may have to pick up the phone and call some people and walk them through how to do their inventory management. It's very, very simple to do, but it doesn't mean you just put a post on Facebook. It means we're going to take our management performance compensation plan and you are going to work with people to help them do this so that you make sure they do it. Because if they don't get it done by the 31st, they won't have anything loaded in and they won't be able to do any sales receipt entries. So again, let's get everybody to do that. Be proactive, get a hold of people. How do you do it? Well, if you go to ordering, and then under ordering, there's a drop down that says inventory management. Then there's something that says existing inventory. So what I did is I just went in, I hit existing inventory. I went and wrote down everything that I have in inventory. Then when I hit existing inventory, it popped up and it said product code. Well, I didn't put in a product code. I just typed the name in and the product popped up. That was easier for me than looking up every product code. And every time I put in a new product, I hit existing inventory again to do that. So that loads everything into your inventory. So again, every new product you're putting in, you hit existing inventory. Now, after December 2nd, I want to make sure of something. Everything that was ordered is going in there automatically if it's sent to you directly. Or if you send it to someone who's not a preferred customer, that's going in your inventory, because even though you mailed it somewhere else, we don't know who you're sending it to or what's going on with it. So that's going in. So make sure when you're sending products, you know what I mean by that, you're ordering it and shipping directly to a customer, that you use a PC number on there. Otherwise, we don't know what the heck you're doing with it because you don't have them listed as a customer. So make sure you've got everybody listed as a customer. So after you do that, it'll pop up and it'll say, okay, here's what I've got in inventory on the different products that I've put in there. And you can see where it sits right in there. Now, when we look at ordering again and what we're doing with that, if I order some new products, as I mentioned, let's say I ordered 3 OPCs, I just place a normal order like I would anyway. So I'm just placing an order, but now I look at my inventory management. Now I've got 5 OPCs because I had 2. I ordered 3, it went in automatically for me because now it's after December 2nd. By the way, don't count anything you already have open. The inventory management is only for your unopened products, okay? Unopened products, and they have to be retailable products. So shopping annuity products do not go on there because those are based on personal use, not on retailing. Sales receipt entry. For many of us, we've always done a sales receipt entry if someone bought and we sold that product out of our stock, okay? So how do we do that? Well, same way we did before. We go to customers, we go to sales receipt entry, we go to preferred customers, we pick one, which we can search by name or email. We verify it's the right person. This is the same thing we've always done. We click continue. Now here's where the difference is. Now the difference is the only things I can put on that sales receipt are what are in my inventory. I want to make sure you understand that. So let's say someone who has a Form 1000 due this Friday, but they haven't done the inventory management, they go in to do their Form 1000, they can't identify a product to put on there unless they have product in their inventory. This is why I'm urging you to contact your people and get them to do this ahead of time so they have product in there that they can show that they're retailing if they are selling it out of their inventory rather than just having it shipped directly from the company. So now I might say, okay, this customer here, Scott's buying an OPC, he's buying a couple vitamin Ds, and it goes right back to the screen I've always had. I click continue. But when I go back to my inventory management tool, now it'll show you that 1 OPC is gone and 2 vitamin Ds are out of my inventory. So when I make a sales receipt entry, it automatically takes those out of my inventory. Basically, what we're doing is showing where the product is going, okay? So one way is through a sales receipt entry, we sold it. The other way, and like as an example for Lisa and I, if we open up a bottle of OPC3, we put that quantity 1 in there, we go down to where it says select an assignment right there. When we do that, we would click personal use, okay? Because we're using that product. That will then take that out of inventory. The other thing you could do, maybe you open up a product that you're sharing with a customer, they're testing it. Well, that would be promotional or advertising use. Maybe something's damaged. Excuse me, then you'd put it under damaged or expired with that. At the end of each quarter, what you're going to need to do, and this is the part I want you to understand as well. So at the end of each quarter, so at the end of December 31st, so now they've gone through, they put that in there, you're going to look at what do I have listed in my inventory, and you're going to see where it's going to say a new column to be assigned. Now, here's what I'm going to do. At the end of the quarter, we're putting everything on sales receipt entries, personal use, damage, whatever it is that we do. So my inventory should be accurate. Basically, what this is saying at the end of a quarter, make sure your inventory is accurate. I'll look at it. I'll say, yeah, I got 4 OPCs. I got blah, blah, blah. And I'll just click on there under assign. I'll put 4 under quantity, and I'll say still in inventory. I'm not sure if you remember and saw that right here. It says keep in inventory. I will just say keep in inventory. Now, if I realize Lisa took a bottle out and forgot to tell me, and it should have been listed under personal use, I will put that under personal use, but I'm going to make my inventory accurate is basically what I'm doing at the end of each quarter. So by doing that, I'm up to date. If I don't do that, what'll happen is at the end of the next quarter, so April 1st, it'll show me I have products that still need to be assigned in my inventory. So again, I've got to figure out where those go. So that's a different number than my inventory number. So that's a little bit confusing because I already did assign some of them, but I didn't assign these. By doing that, that will then take care of my inventory. So here's how I'm going to make it really simple for you. At the end, put a reminder on that by January 1st, April 1st, July 1st, you just go in, check and make sure your inventory is updated, click it, boom, you do that, you're great. If you don't, and you get, again, a quarter away where you haven't done it, you'll notice where it comes in red and it says to be assigned. So that means you haven't assigned that. And in this case, that would be from the December inventory that it never got assigned, reassigned in January if it's April 1st. Then a note's going to come. It says you have inventory from the previous quarter that needs to be assigned. You cannot purchase your market, in this case, Australia brands, until your previous quarter's inventory has been assigned. Now, again, it's as simple as saying I've got 2, keep it in inventory, 1, keep it in inventory. So it's not a hard thing to do. It is going to require a little bit of coaching, though, just like I'm doing with you. All this information is in the back under support materials, everything. There's webinars, there's frequently asked questions, any kind of information you would need to do that. And there'll be strategies, messaging, alerts that will come out as we do it. So just be aware of that. I did, though, just want to take that time and, give you a quick overview on it. If you haven't updated it yet, get it updated. If you've got teammates who haven't done it, give them a call and walk them through it. Like I said, it's so simple. But take the time to do that. I want to wish you a happy holidays from our management team at Market America. It's going to be a great year in 2020, and we can't think of a better way for you to prepare for that than to get your goals set up, have an incredible holiday season from all of us, and really hit and achieve what you want to hit in 2020. Kylie, if there's any questions, we can open it up for a few minutes. I know I've hit my hour time frame, so let me know what you're thinking on there if you have any questions that anyone had while I was going through different things.
Hey, Jim. Yeah, there are a couple of great questions. One of them here says, we have partners whose goal doesn't align with us. How do we deal with that? For example, my goal is to build ECs in the next few months. The partners I want to work with do not have the same goal.
Great, and great question, by the way, and this is really important. Remember, their goals are the way they have to work towards it. There's something that's real important in our business, and that's that you can't change their goals. So if their goal is to use and sell product, maybe you can help them generate more customers, right, to do a better job on that. Or if their goal is to move slower, great, that's their goal. Support them, love them, ask them how you can help them. Okay, that's really important. Do not drive them out of the business because their goal is different than yours. What you have to do is you need to go and you need to start doing 2 evaluations or 2 plans per week and identifying other people who have the same goals you do. You can't change the people that you have there, but you can love on them and make sure you don't lose them because you're pushing them at a goal they don't want. I don't depend on anybody on my team to help me achieve my goal. I depend on helping them achieve their goals and then identifying other people either through them, which is the easiest way if they get me to lead the people, or by sponsoring new people to get to the people that have the same goals I had to help me get there quicker. Okay.
Okay. One is the quarter is calendar quarter or personal quarter?
Calendar quarter, great question for the inventory management. It's calendar quarter.
Okay, next question is, if we buy our products as gifts for friends and family, do we categorize them as promotional advertising use?
Yes, yeah, you would. You would, yes.
Great. We have a lovely message from, a shout out from Kitty, just saying happy holidays and Christmas, Jim and everyone from the management team at Market America. And that concludes all the questions.
All right, guys. Well, it's been great spending this evening with you. As I said before, please have an incredible holiday season. Enjoy your family. Hold them close. Love on them a lot. And then prepare for an incredible, fun, and I do mean fun, profitable, exciting 2020. Jack, thanks for your help with everything. And Kylie, I know you're on the sidelines there, both of you guys. So appreciate it, and happy holidays to you as well. And look forward to a great 2020, everybody. Bye-bye.